good job. And there's actually a whole package.
It's fun for me to be here with all of you who are travelers and interested in traveling. I always say I'm not a traveler, and Lisa quickly corrects me because she points out to me that I'm very comfortable in some very large major cities in the world, London and Tokyo to be two of them. I simply, compared to what Lisa and George do, I call myself, you'll have to call me a city traveler. I prefer my transportation to be trains and metros and taxis. I prefer my hotels to have hot water. But I do enjoy seeing new locations and trying new things, and when I have the opportunity to do that, I do. But that's enough about me. So Lisa and George, there's a lot I could say about them, and I'll leave a lot of that for drinks after the presentation. That's great. But two people who are meant to be together and meant to travel couldn't be more perfect. They are adventurous, enjoy trying new things, and really have had an interesting traveling life together, which they'll share. They met online through online dating. They dated by email, is what I would call it, for it seemed like months before they started traveling together. Their first sabbatical year, they left from LA for a year, and they visited 12 countries. As you said, they were engaged. You saw the non-water photos. They were engaged underwater on that trip, and lots of adventures and challenges.
So I didn't realize until tonight this is the first time we read an excerpt was in Nepal, and last month or early this month we read an excerpt in Hawaii. But I realized when I was looking at it that I actually wrote in this section about Barb. So I have the whole family. What are you doing? Oh, thank you. Sure. My whole life changed the day I walked across that street. On one side of the road, I walked every day to class. On one side of the road, I walked every day to class, stood my menacing medical school buildings. On the other side, happy children shrieked and screamed on swings and slides. I turned my back on the well-trodden, secure road to success at an elite all-girls private school, the high towers of an Ivy League college education, and a top 3 medical school to become a volunteer assistant preschool teacher. I welcomed the great unknown, giving up the rat race for a future that would lead to the greatest adventure of my life. An e-ticket unlike any Mr. Toad's wild ride I had ever seen. I gave up sweating formaldehyde for cleaning spit. Was it worth it? Would I be happy in 10 years when this training was over? Should I give up my 20s? I gave up. While figuring out my new world, I learned to scuba dive. As a child, I had a near-drowning experience and always felt uncomfortable underwater. My college roommate was a lifeguard and NCAA synchronized swimmer. With her by my side, I learned to love the aquatic side of life. With my new free time, I decided to build my swimming skills and learn to breathe underwater like a mermaid. I did not enjoy diving instantly as I swam without grace, like an out-of-water flapping fish. Eventually, I became comfortable in the watery world. Unable to travel to scuba destinations on a meager preschool teacher's salary, I searched for ways to cut loose. A friend suggested Club Med. I was hired so fast that my head spun with the details of packing my whole life into a suitcase to move to Copper Mountain. Obviously, the ski village did little to improve my diving. Early on my new path, I yelled at my mom, who told her friends that I dropped out of medical school to join the circus. She must have felt vindicated when they visited me at Club Med in the Bahamas and I was in the trapeze show. Hi, Mom. Luckily, it's funny now. I developed Marge, the nerdy librarian character that nearly always won the dating game despite her pathetic appearance. When I appeared on stage, my dad laughed so hard that my coworkers figured he wet his pants. Hi, Dad. While working at Club Med, I took advantage of my new home. I learned to sail, water ski, windsurf, and snorkel daily. I was creating a whole new me, one who not only read books, but also engaged in outdoor activities. While on vacation at another village, I met cruise ship employees and learned I could double my salary and travel the world. Sound like heaven. I made a few calls and attained an interview for the Love Boat. I grew up watching the show, and now it was going to be part of my real life. I worked for 3 different cruise lines on 6 continents. During my time off, I became a PADI dive master. 2 weeks after the attacks on the Twin Towers on September 11th, my cruise line went bankrupt. After all the excitement and travel over 7 years, my job at sea ended and I returned to my parents' home to figure out what to do next. I felt depressed and imagined that my days journeying the world were over. Looking back, I realized that this period was just the beginning of my next life chapter. Along my journey, I had dates with 5 guys named Steve, sued It's Just Lunch, and almost appeared on the TV show Judge Judy. It's all true.
It's true.
I survived many first dates with frogs, but never found a prince. Finally, this Love Boat gal met a Paraguayan Peace Corps volunteer, and that's where this story truly begins.
So we had a really great event tonight here at the Lux Hotel in Los Angeles. We had a good turnout, I'd say at least 50% over what we expected. Asked some great questions about travel, and it was inspiring. I even talked to some people tonight that had some great suggestions for us, some travel in Africa that I haven't even talked to Lisa about. So it was great for us, as well as I hope the people that showed up tonight.
I just feel so fortunate that it was like, this is your life, that people that were in our book, people that have written on our website, we just feel so honored to have people be interested in our story.
So if you want to buy Traveling in Sin on Amazon, go to Traveling in Sin, click on it, and then on the side, you see where it says buy now with one click.